How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be breaking down the laning phase in detail of Xiao Chao Meng. And for those of you who don't know him, he's one of the best solo queue top laners on the Chinese super server, but recently he's been playing a little bit on the Korean ladder, and just completely dominating on these big beefy bruiser champions like Darius and Renekton and Aatrox, the champions we love to see in top lane. So we're going to be breaking down how exactly he manages to get such big leads in laning phase, and just completely dominate in the majority of his matchups. So if that sounds good to you, then let's get started. How's it going, everyone? Real quick before we start the video, I'm excited to announce that I've teamed up with the Broken Bike Concert Boys, and I'm going to be running coaching classes 5 days a week in the Top Lane Academy. They've really built such a great community of passionate students trying their best to improve, so if you're keen to improve alongside them and be coached by me personally, the link will be in the description. I'd love to see you there, and I hope you enjoy the video. Now, we're going to be starting things off with a couple of Aatrox lanes, as it's one of the champions he's most famous for. And if you're curious about his setup, it's just pure aggression. He's got Ignite with Doran's Blade, and as for the runes, pretty standard. Conqueror, Triumph, Haste with Last Stand, Second Wind, and Revitalize as a secondary. Now, something that's really interesting about this player, compared to most high-elo solo queue top laners, is the fact that he takes Ignite in so many of his matchups. So he'll often play champions like Darius, Aatrox, Renekton, and take Ignite in so many of those lanes, where normally champs like Aatrox, Renekton, you see teleport every single game, and on a champion like Darius, you'd see Ghost, but he takes Ignite in so many lanes, as it allows him to play much more aggressive in lane, and have a lot more all-in threat, and you can see even in this matchup against K'Sante, he will use it quite well. So level 1, I'd say K'Sante is one of the strongest, not level 1 specifically, but K'Sante is one of the strongest melee top laners at the moment, so he does have to be very careful, so we're going to be seeing how he plays out the lane. So mainly looking to trim the wave here, he can't get Prio up against K'Sante if K'Sante plays it normally. He doesn't want to take free damage, so he goes for a Q2. Now, every time he has Q3 up, he doesn't try to waste it or get the cooldown for no reason, but that gives him breathing room. If he has Q3 loaded up, he can just walk up and farm the minions normally, like this, and then if K'Sante tries to trade onto him, he can just send that Q3. You'll see it's a common thing from him, where every time Q3 is available, he can play more aggressive, and if K'Sante's respecting, which pretty much every top lane user should do, it gives you breathing room to hit the wave, get farm, because even if you're not going to get Prio, hitting the wave a lot is very important, as you don't want to give them level 2 with such a big minion gap. If you can trim the wave and get level 2, maybe half a minion or a minion after, it's not going to be as bad. So tanks the Q3 here, but he had his Q3 loaded up, so not too bad. And just looking to trim the wave as much as he can, so that K'Sante doesn't get level 3 with a big gap. So here, level 3, he's looking to be respectful. Something that I was impressed with here, as I'd say a lot of Aatrox players would E here, to either dodge the K'Sante Q, or just E to disengage the passive Grasp Auto. But he holds onto his E, because he knows he's going to get level 3 soon, and he doesn't want his E to be on cooldown, as the level 1 E cooldown is quite long, and then goes for the Q, getting level 3 at the same time, W into Q2E, and then trying to pre-dodge the W. Of course, the K'Sante hitbox way too big, so unable to dodge it. And now here, you can see it. During this trade, so we'll go back to it. He knows that the K'Sante is going to W, so he already starts to move to the side, you can see, to dodge the W. Unfortunately, too big of a hitbox. And then the Q3 allows him to play more aggressive, so passive into stab. And now he knows he can hold his ground and abuse Conqueror versus Grasp, so long trading versus short trading. But if he tanks all the K'Sante Qs, he will lose the trade. So he's already trying to pretend to click away, and then clicks off to the side before K'Sante even sends his Q. So pre-dodging the K'Sante Q. If you can dodge 1 or 2 K'Sante Qs in a trade, it's going to be a lot better for you. Of course, not taking the damage, but not allowing him to stack it up is going to make the trade really good for you. So now back to trimming the wave, Q1 into Q2. You'll notice he's not wasting his E unnecessarily, almost never. He Q1 and Q2 there without using E. Even here he Q3'd without using E, because if he E'd forward, he would tank the K'Sante W. The trade wouldn't be so good. So he's taking the free damage instead, happy with the outer ring of Q3. So chilling here, no abilities up, not letting the wave hit the tower. It's okay to let the melee minions hit tower, like you did here, but you don't want to let the caster minions hit it, you want to block them from reaching tower. So even though it's not a permanent freeze, it's really hard for K'Sante to base, or let the wave come back to him. So you can see pre-dodging the Q as well here. So always very aware and trying to dodge that ability. And now level 4 Aatrox, I'd say level 4, level 5 is when your champ starts to feel really strong. So he's going to be utilizing it very shortly. So looking to wait. If K'Sante walks up, he's going to punish. If not, he'll keep the wave here. Doesn't want to give up his position in lane. So Q1E, just a nice short trade. But if you do use Q1 and E it together, you don't want to waste your W. So you can see that he held onto his W, where a lot of Aatroxes use W pretty much off cooldown, from what I've seen. So it's better for you if you just Q1E. You're not going to be able to get the pull in with W or hit your Q2 most of the time. So it's better that you just take the Q1E and hold on to your W for a long trade, as the cooldown is way too long on that spell. So dodges a Q3 here. He's going to look to go very shortly. If you touch that minion, I'm going to go. So Q1, Q2, not using his E unnecessarily. And now he can Q3 in because he knows he's going to win the extended trade. So pops the Ignite, giving him so much extra combat power, especially if he uses it early. And he's able to get a solo kill early on in this matchup. So I'd say the most impressive thing from the early point of this lane is the way he's using his abilities, especially his E. Because it's so common for Aatrox players, you're probably versed a lot, or done it yourself, to just spam QE whenever they can, especially if somebody jumps onto you to E away, but he's using his E very deliberately. He'll never use it if he can hit the spell without it, and he's not going to use it to disengage if he doesn't need to. He's holding onto it so that he can combo all of his abilities together. So now heading back to lane, looking to grow his advantage, and if you're curious about what he built this game, he rushed Black Cleaver straight away. I'll put the full build on the screen, and he went Phage as his first item here. Now he's going to be looking to grow his advantage here, looking to really slow push the wave and punish Cassante when he walks up. So you can see now, standing in a position, if you walk up to this wave, if you touch it, I'm going to punish you, making it really hard for Cassante to approach the lane at all, because he wants to build the biggest wave possible and not allow Cassante to trim it at all. But of course, any top laner is going to go for that cannon, so he's ready to punish, leads with Q1E, W into Q2. So now you can see the Phage movement speed allows him to combo a lot easier than before. He can use Q1E and still stick onto him if Cassante has an incentive to walk up, so a minion or a trade. So got a pretty good trade straight away. You can see even though Cassante died, the trade was relatively even. Champion is pretty balanced at the moment. And now looking to punish you again. If you walk up and Q this minion, I'm going to punish you. So really good at staunching with body language. And then punishing if they walk up. But he wants to be hard shoving this wave in, as he doesn't want to let the wave be awkwardly stuck if the next wave approaches. So he goes for a hard shove here. So going to probably go to ward, I would assume. He probably should ward on this timer. Ward's the try, because Viego can only get him from there, as Gwen has got the grubs locked down, and now looking to punish. So the wave is coming back towards him slowly, so this is going to be his time to go for a kill. You can see Q1 doesn't go with Q1E, as he wants to hold on to E for Q2, exactly right like this. Q2E goes on to the Q3, and then Cassante goes onto him, so he knows he can win the extended trade. So dodges the Cassante W with the ulti movement speed, and Conqueror with Ignite. You can just see how much extra combat power he gets with that summoner spell, and knowing the rune advantage, and able to utilize his ulti movement speed very well in that 1v1. For our next matchup, we have Aatrox versus Vladimir, and I wanted to pick this one to showcase how Xiao Chao Meng plays in a melee versus range matchup, and you can see he doesn't care about teleport at all, even against a range champion running Ignite yet again. He did run Doran's Shield, however, and as for his runes, very similar. The only thing he changed out was Revitalize for Overgrowth and Triumph for Absorb Life. Now, Absorb Life gives piss healing early game, but in his point of view, I guess it's better than nothing, so he's going to be looking to pick up a little bit of extra sustain from his rune page. Now, the main way to play melee versus range matchups is to utilize the bush to conserve HP, come in and out to last hit, trade if you can, but mainly looking to conserve HP so that when the wave does bounce back and you are level 3, level 4, you can look to play the game. However, if he fully respected and disengaged here and used the bush, he wouldn't have enough breathing room to play the game. So even though he lost his trade here, now Vladimir's pool is on cooldown, he has to respect the Aatrox for a little bit, so he's using that time to allow himself to hit the wave so that Vladimir can't stack the biggest wave possible. So you can see once Vladimir's Q2 runs out, he's going to walk back up and use that breathing room to hit the wave. So it's going to be better for him to play this way. Of course, don't just take a bad trade for no reason. But if Vladimir's spells are on cooldown, then he's got breathing room to hit the wave. Same as if Vayne wasted Condemn, or Gnar wasted Hop, Kennen wasted E, any range champion you play against. If you waste their main disengage tool, you've got breathing room to pick up some farm and trim the wave as well. However, now the wave's way too big, so he's going to be letting it crash. You'll see, not interested in taking a trade at all, as a double stack cannon wave is way too much to deal with. And Vladimir's going to be looking to poke him under tower. So pretty fun to play against for Aatrox, but this is when he can start to play the game. So with the wave bouncing back towards your opponent, any bruiser champ you're playing, bruiser versus range, if you're relatively high HP and you pick up level 3, level 4, with the wave bouncing back and you have the minion advantage as well, that's when you can look to take a big trade up against them. So you'll see he'll do exactly just that. The Vladimir used his prior to help secure Scuttle for his Cardi, but now he's going to be looking to trade. So level 4, this is when Aatrox comes online. Level 4, level 5, like we talked about before, this is when he's going to be looking to trade. He tried to wait for Vladimir to waste Q on a minion, but he didn't, so now he can look to take a trade. So good spacing here, is able to get the Q3 onto him, and you can see with the spacing there, we're going to go back to it because it's a really important skill set to pick up, how to auto space against the range champion. So here, you can see he clicks away to bait Vladimir to come in, so that Vladimir can hit his W onto him as his EW, and then he clicks backwards in. So the fact that that he clicked up backwards made Vladimir click towards him. So now he's overextended, so he can actually hit the Q3 auto and Q3E auto. And now runs backwards, runs back, hits him. Runs backwards, you can see. So he's running away to bait Vladimir to come in more, and then turning onto him straight away so that he can greed an extra auto attack or guarantee the sweet spot of Q3. Or if he just straight away ran away or ran straight to the Vladimir, he wouldn't be able to get all that extra damage, as it would be a lot easier for Vladimir to play against. But now with Vladimir's W on cooldown, this is when he's looking to trade, but the pull's back up. So he's going to be looking to burn it yet again. So he didn't go in him. He's probably thinking about Q3 flashing, auto ignite, but he probably assumed Vladimir would think that as well, and then use a pull, so just kind of mind gamed each other a little bit there. But he's still in a really good position already, especially if you think about Vladimir not having TP. He's in such a good spot here, and he knows because he's in such a good spot, the enemy jungler has to come, which is why he warded before he went. So Q2 ignite here. Ignite actually turned this fight. He was able to get the kill on Vladimir with the ignite there, otherwise he wouldn't have got it, but he still did die to a little bit of jungle gap. Now his wave's in a bit of an awkward spot. Luckily his jungler fixed it, coming back onto the map. Now something that he built here is something that you should look to do in your games as well if you're playing any AD Bruiser champion in this type of game. He rushed Hex Shrinker as his first item. Now, that doesn't mean every time you verse an AP top, you should go that item, but in this game, he's versed Vladimir and Cardi, so full AP damage champions and no CC, so Merc Treads are useless here. It's better for him to rush Hex Shrinker as his first item. So now, wave coming back, he's going to be looking to trade. You can see really common for him to use his Q2 and E together, not really using Q1 and E together as a Q2, of course, a lot stronger of a spell. By level 6 here, he knows I've got Hex Drinker, I've got Aatrox ulti. I'm not as scared of their jungler at all, even though he saw him on a ward. So he's going to be looking to take a big trade. So pops ulti here, starts to chase down the Vlad, abusing that Conqueror versus Aerie, long trade versus short trades, waiting here for the Vladimir to get pulled in by W. And able to pick up the kill. So flash auto just to guarantee it there, and we'll bring it back. So even though he saw the enemy jungler there, he knows with his build and his champion, he can 1v2 these champs, so he's not scared at all, even though he knows the jungler is there. So Q1, Q2 without using E, and then links his Q3 and E together, burns the Vladimir pull, and knows he can pop ulti. Holding W this entire time, by the way. Didn't use it on that previous trade, holding onto it, and now that Vladimir's just trying to get away, he's got W in a really good position. It's really hard for Vladimir to escape from it. So waiting for him to get pulled in, Q1 into Q2, flash auto as Vladimir still has flash as well. So if he Q3 flashed, a lot easier for Vlad to react to, but flash auto would follow Vlad even if he used his flash then. So uses his prior as well, runs down to punish the Cardi on the Void Grubs there. So really impressive start to the game and already won the game. So touching all the Karthus Qs as well, he's already won the game so early on. So I'd say the main reason he got so far ahead in this matchup was he had a really good understanding of how to play melee versus range matchups as a bruiser champion, where he conserved HP early, allowed the enemy range top to stack a wave while trimming it as much as he can, conserved his HP, and then looked to play extremely aggressive on the bounce back on this timer here, because he wasn't so low HP to the point where he couldn't do it, still got his potion as well, so able to pick up a really nice early kill and turn the tides of this matchup. Moving on to his Darius, and for our first matchup, he's playing up against a Volibear, and yet again with his setup, full aggression. So Doran's Blade with Ignite and Flash, with Conqueror, Triumph, Alacrity and Last Stand, and Cosmic Insight and Cookies as a secondary. Now, the reason he has these two runes as a secondary, of course, Flash cooldown really important on Darius, but also Cookies in really volatile matchups are quite broken at the moment, as it gives you missing HP in 5 seconds. So the reason they're so strong is because of how much HP you get in such a short amount of time. So if you're low HP, especially with a potion and the cookies going, in a really volatile matchup like a Darius vs Volley, or maybe Jax vs Camille, lanes like that, the cookie can give you that extra edge. Now, something that I really liked about this VOD is the Volibear in this game actually played like a lot of players you've probably played against in solo queue, sitting really far back and respecting. Now, of course, he's up against Xiao Chao Meng's Ignite Darius and going for the level 1 trade, but the reason I like this VOD, even though Volibear was respecting, is the way he used his prior to impact the rest of the map. Because it's pretty rare that a top laner can be really impactful across the map in the early game, but the way he does it up against this, I'd say, NPC top laner that doesn't want to trade very often was quite impressive. So the Volibear's looking for short trades with Q, which is a good idea by him. doesn't want to be giving Darius the 5 stacks, and you can see Xiao Chao Meng on the other hand just looking to staunch, if you touch this minion, I'm going to punish you. Very consistent with how he's been playing throughout all the games we've seen, guarding the minions and not letting the opponent even touch a single one, not even to last it, not even to trim the wave. So standing here, if you touch the minion, I'm going to go. That one was a bit difficult. If he tried to punish this one, he would tank the entire cannon wave. So it's not as simple as guarding literally every minion. There's a time and a place where you can't, and normally when the wave is coming in, that's when it'd be very difficult to do so. But when the wave is settled down like this, especially if you have a level lead like him, that's when you can look to go. So wave 3 is here. He's going to be looking to hard push this wave. Doesn't want to be letting the wave get stuck in an awkward position. So just looking to crash it under the tower. So goes for a hook, just out of range, unfortunate. Pretty good spacing by volley. And now using his pro quite nicely. So we can see here, mid lost a 2v2, mid jungle, and Kindred got a bunch of kills. So he's knowing now the Kindred's top camp's still up. So he's going to be using that timer. He's got such a big, I'd say, timer created where it's hard for Volibear to get the wave under tower that he can use. So he's checking the red, trying to find Kindred, trying to hunt him down and punish the enemy jungler. So even though they just won a mid 2v2, the enemy team, he uses his prior to punish. So Flash hooks them and goes for the kill. Holds on to Ignite in case he would have used Ignite if he couldn't get into auto range, but able to pick up a kill and secure double buffs there. So healing off the crab as well. You can heal off any jungle camp if you hit the big one. So looking to get the extra healing from his Q onto that scuttle on his way back to lane. So nice little detail there from him. And now looking to punish this Volibear. So he got on the volley, looking to base and TP back, using his TP to get an advantage. So now he's got an item lead over him, but because he has double buffs, he can still look to play aggressive in this game. So I'll put on his vision. We can see Kindred, of course. He can't, but he saw that Kindred hit the Hex Plant there. So that's why he's moving down here, looking to find him and guard the blue buff. So you can see he's willing to give up a bunch of minions in the early game and use his prime to be really impactful because he knows Kindred's probably going to be looking to invade him as he just lost his red buff to Viego. He's going to be looking to strike back, and even though he doesn't really have a timer, this is more impactful than the wave. Granted that the play will work, and because he's there first, the chance that it works is really high. Now, I don't recommend trying this at home, I would say. This timer here. The first time, absolutely, where he crashed a wave and moving. Here, you really need to understand if the play is going to be 100% successful before you abandon a wave like this. Because if you do this and the play goes badly, or if you get nothing for it, then of course you can lose your lane off of it. But he knows that the play is guaranteed. Granted, he got there first, where if he didn't move, Volibear would have been there first, and the play would have been successful for the enemy team. So now looking to chill, wait to get level 5 before he goes for the all-in, and trying to use the red buff if he can, but waiting so that the level is the same. So you can see now, just trimming the wave a little bit, trying to space out the Volibear Q, but he's able to reach onto him, buffers the W through Volibear Q, hooks him back in, pops the Q, and this is where, yet again, the Ignite comes in handy. If he had Ghost here, he 100% loses this fight, but he's able to win the all-in. So we'll bring it back here. You can see he knows Volibear with lethal tempo, really good in an all-in. So he's looking to space out the Q while his Q is on cooldown, but he is able to reach him here, buffers the W through the Volibear Q, which was something I really liked here. Hooks him just before he gets away, auto Q, auto W with Ignite, and the Ignite cutting the Volibear second bite was able to gain him a really big lead in this game. So you can see how powerful Ignite can be, even on a champion that pretty much takes Ghost every single game. Probably what you've been seeing. You can take Ignite in these really volatile melee vs melee matchups, especially if they have a healing source like Volibear. It's going to give you a much higher chance of being able to win the 1v1. So now on his way back to lane, if you're curious about his build, he is rushing Stridebreaker in this game. Even though a lot of Darius players recently have been going into Triforce, he still prefers Stridebreaker in a lot of his games. So on this timer here, where Volibear has this massive stack wave, he does have to be really careful. If he takes a trade here, he will lose, especially with his Ignite being on cooldown. It's important that if you are going to be taking Ignite more often, inspired by Xiao Chao Meng, that you play off it as if it's a major cooldown, because it really changes if you can win an all-in or not. So he trims this wave here, and looks to move down, playing for Void Grubs. He knows even if Volibear hard pushes, the Void Grub fight is going to be a lot more important, so he looks to be the first one there. Consistently the first one there, even if he has prior or not, and able to kill the Kindred there of ulti. A really important skill set to build on Darius. If you can take any kill whatsoever with your ulti, you do so, because that's going to give you your passive straight away, as it can be really hard to get 5 stacks in a team fight sometimes, so you need to be really good and switched on locking down any kill you can with your ulti, so that you get your passive stack right away. So he picks up the double kill there, secures the grubs for his team once Viego gets back, and already in 7 minutes has pretty much guaranteed the win for his team. And for our final matchup, we have quite a banger. He's playing Darius up against Irelia, and they both have Ignite in this game, so really, really explosive. Now, something else that happened in this game, he did get camped quite a lot. They really put that tent down on him, but he still managed to get a massive lead. So we're going to be seeing how exactly he did so. Now, about his setup, same as before, Ignite Flash with D-Blade, and for the runes, Conqueror, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, and Cosmic Insight and Cookies. So we can see here taking over the third lane bush level 1, and looking to zone Irelia from the wave. Now, Irelia is waiting for the wave to get low, so that maybe she can walk up in Q level 1, but he's warding here, so just in case Irelia came from this way, he could spot her, and if not, he can completely gank the entrance. So making it really hard to rally Q's in just as the wave is about to die, so that she can get all the XP. I think she missed one anyway, but good idea by her. And he's able to get a 4-stack trade level 1. Not able to get the 5, but still a good trade. Lets the second wave come in. So it's really important that you almost never trade as the wave is coming in, as not only are you going to take a lot of extra damage, but you're also going to ruin the wave as well. So you can see that's why he's backed out here. He turned to get 1 extra auto, but he's disengaging this trade. He doesn't want to fight her in this big stacked wave and ruin the wave control here. So now that the wave has settled down, he walks at her now, willing to drop that minion, as he knows zoning the Aurelian from Golden XP is more important, and looking to trade onto it if he can. So he gets level 2 very shortly. Skills disease, letting a lot of minions die. Because this matchup is so volatile, the CS doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you get 9 out of 19 of your first 3 waves. It's way more important that you play for the trades in this type of extremely volatile lane, especially Ignite versus Ignite. However, the Skarner knows that this is the game-changing matchup in this game, and he comes top right away, even though he only has a blue buff. So we can see how he plays off this 1v2. So I'll get back to the position we're in. Lets the wave 3 come in. Lets the wave settle before he looks for a trade. Aurelia goes in knowing she has a gank. Goes with the auto W. Looking to stack up. You can see kiting away, holding on to E until now. Pops the E and Ignite. And he's able to at least trade this a 1-for-1. So flashes out the Skarner, probably shouldn't have done that, but even though he did flash, he's still in a pretty good position because the wave was bouncing back towards him. So still worthwhile there, definitely, and he's in a really good spot now, based purely from how he played the 1-2, taking those great trades, and the reason he let the wave crash here, it's just too big of a double stack wave 2 block. If he blocks the wave here, he's going to get chunked to about 60% HP, and he's just he doesn't have TP, and the match is way too volatile for him to do that. And if you're curious about his build, he did just pick up a cull and a refill on his first recall, just trying to spend as much gold as he can. So now the way he's going to be pushing out, he's going to be really slow pushing this one. You can see him trying to push it as slow as he can and not looking to, well, allowing himself to build the biggest wave possible. But now he's in a good position, so he's going to be looking to block the wave here. Aurelia went just to clear mid wave while she waited patiently, because she doesn't want to walk up here and get ran down the lane by this Darius, so it's better for her to go catch some mid XP. So getting back to lane now, you can see how big of a wave he's stacking. Very consistent for him. When the enemy is slow pushing a wave, he tries his best to trim it and make it so they can't build a massive stack wave. But when he's building it, he doesn't let them do that, and he stacks the biggest wave he can. So level 5 to 3 in this game here, already off to a really good start. And now the wave is going to be bouncing back. So there's nothing for him to do here. Darius is not really good at poking under tower. So it's better for him to base and look to run down the Aurelia when the wave is in a good spot for him. So his build, Ruby Crystal and Longsword, just pretty standard on Darius. And now he's going to be looking to push. So really good by Aurelia that she one-shot this wave as fast as she could so that the wave didn't get stuck here. So really smart by her. If you versus a champion like Camille or Fiora with pretty bad wave clear, they're not going to be able to do that. But Aurelia, of course, she can. So she was able to reset the wave back to equal. However, he's still got a lead, so goes on to her straight away, starts to fight. But yet again, the Skarner is back. The camp is pretty brutal here, and they're able to take him down, not even trading kills there. So I'll speed up again. Lee Sin kind of gets beat up a bit, and now he lost a lot of XP. But you can see how he's going to play it afterwards. So looking to one-shot this wave, as he did notice Aurelia base very late, so that she will lose a lot more if he just one-shots this wave, compared to if he tried to slow build it with the next one, and also grubs her up, so he wants to be pushing ASAP, so he has a lot of free time to work with. So I'll put it onto his vision. He's just helping out with grubs a little bit, here topping up his HP with the Q, and now wave is coming back towards him. It's going to be his time to strike on the Aurelia. So goes in straight away, goes for the hook, auto WQ, pretty standard Darius combo, and just forcing the trade here. Gets 5 stacks, and doesn't want to pop ulti there. Wants to save it for a dive. He's pinging the Lee Sin to come. Oh, the Lee Sin's actually pinging on the way. So they're going to be looking to dive over here. So 7 versus 5 is going to be a pretty easy dive. Kick into the wall. Able to pick up the kill. So you can see even in this game where you got ganked so often, because the way he's playing his trades was so good, and the way he's controlling his wave was so good, even though he did die a lot to the ganks, they were pretty good devs. So a little bit of the boss style there, but he was able to trade 1-for-1 only one time. But every single time he died, his wave was in a good position, so he was still able to maintain a really big lead, even despite getting ganked so often. Alright everyone, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if there's any champion you'd like to see me cover next that Xiao Chao Meng's been playing, maybe as Renekton, as Wukong, as Mordekaiser, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll get to work right away, and I'll see you all next time.